To our top story today, the row over school buildings in the UK is escalating. The UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is under pressure, with some accusing him of ignoring the repairs when Sunak was serving as the UK Chancellor. Well, according to some former officials at the Department of Education, in 2020 and 2021, a request to fund work of more than 300 schools was slashed down to below the 100 mark, and the decision was taken by Sunak's treasury. The officials, while speaking to British media, claim that the treasury slashed down their request despite presenting evidence that deterioration in reinforced autoclaved aerated concrete poses a critical risk to life. Well, Number 10 has rejected all the claims. This comes after the UK Education Secretary Gillian Keegan was caught out on camera while making foul comments. Well, the comments were made when the cameras continued rolling after a formal interview was over. However, later on, she did apologise for her remark and the language she used. Now, according to a report by the Institute for Fiscal Studies think tank, average capital spending on school buildings is down by around a quarter since the mid-2000s. And the mark is well below the 50% when compared to a spending budget of 2010. Well, Sunak has stressed on the point that the threat is limited to just hundreds of schools and not thousands of schools, while adding that 95% of those schools won't be impacted by the crisis. Well, the Labour Party has accused the Tory government of trying to limit their responsibility. Well, several schools in England are on the verge of closing buildings as they fear an aerated concrete is prone to collapse. This comes just days before the new term starts in the country. Officials from the Education Ministry claim there is a potential collapse risk of the material with time. The ministry began warning about the risk in 2018. The material reinforced autoclaved aerated concrete was widely used for schools and colleges constructions, and this really was used from the 1950s onwards until the 1990s, when it stopped being used so widely. Now, reports suggest more than 150 schools and colleges contain RAAC, as it's known. This also comes at a time as millions of students in England are returning to schools after the summer holidays. Well, let's get more on this now with our correspondent Julia Chapman, is joining us live from London. So it does beg the question why we're all having this conversation on the week where the kids are all getting ready to go back to school. Some were due back yesterday, some today, some later on in the week. But this is the getting back to school week here in England. And yet we've got schools, some around 150 schools in England have been identified as having this type of dangerous concrete. How was this allowed to happen, and how is it being justified by the government?